Hello everyone, I am Mrs. Rushali Chaudhary, lecturer Praveen Patil, Polytechnic. Today we are going to learn the applied science chemistry. In that we are going to start with a new topic called as the fuels. Everyone is aware about the fuels? Yes, without a fuel life is not possible. Yes, we are survive on the fuel. What is the fuel for the human body? The fuel for human body is the food which provides energy. But when we are talking about the machinery, when we are talking about the automobiles, we are using the different fuels. What is meaning of the fuel? Any substance which on a combustion produces a large amount of heat, it's called as a fuel. What is meaning of the combustion? A substance which on heating or the burning produces a large amount of the heat, it's called as a fuel. Anything which can be burned to give a heat in presence of oxygen, it's called as a fuel. If we consider example candle, okay, when we are heating it or when we are burning the candle, what you are observe is that produce the large amount of the heat? No, it is producing very small quantity of heat. They are giving the light. Therefore, when we are talking about the engineering fuel, we are not consider the wax. Okay, what is the combustion? The process of burning of fuel. It is a chemical reaction. When any fuel is contact with the oxygen at a particular higher temperature, that time they are going to convert into their oxidation, or oxidation will take place, and that reaction is exothermic. And due to the industrial revolution, we require a large amount of heat, large amount of power for making the machines, for using machines. We are going to learn what are the fuels in that. What is a combustion reaction? When fuel are heated or in contact with the oxygen at a higher temperature, or above the ignition temperature, it is produces the energy in form of heat and or light. That is called as a combustion reaction. Fuels are the main energy source for the industry as well as the domestic purposes. It is a substance which is having carbon as a major constituent, which provides, or which on combustion produces heat. The combustion is the process of oxidation, and that is an exothermic process, so large amount of heat is evolved. Every combustion is the oxidation, but every oxidation is not a combustion. Combustion of wood, petrol and kerosene gives the heat energy. When we are talking about the fuels, or what is the requirement of fuels, as per the applications, like if there is an automobile, we require the different fuel. If there is a machine, we require the different fuels. So as per the applications, we are going and occurrence, we are going to classify fuels into the two main categories. First is by the occurrence and second is by the uses or the state. In this first, again classified into the primary fuel and the secondary fuel. Primary fuels means natural fuels which is obtained from the nature without any chemical process, without any physical process, we can use directly, like a wood. We can cut down wood from the plant and we can use as a fuel. Peat, coal, petroleum, natural gases. No other chemical reaction is not required for this. So they are called as the natural fuels or the primary fuels. Second one is the secondary fuels or the artificial fuels. These are prepared artificially from the primary fuels, that is the charcoal, coke, kerosene, diesel, petrol, coal gas, oil gas, producer gas, blast furnace gas. These are the secondary fuels which is not a naturally occurring. We will obtain these fuels by the processing on the natural fuels. It's called as a secondary fuel. In an exam, they will ask you among following which is a primary fuel or among following which is a secondary fuel. So again fuels are classified into two types, primary or the natural and the secondary derived or the artificial. Primary fuel again classified into three types, that is the solid fuels, liquid fuels and the gaseous fuels. What is the example of the solid fuels? Yes, wood, peat, lignite and coal are the example of the solid fuel. And for the liquid fuel, yes, crude oil is also act as a liquid fuel. Gaseous fuel, natural gas, that is called as a compressed natural gas. CNG, that is an example of the gaseous fuel. Secondary fuel, solid fuels like a coal, charcoal, petroleum, that is called as a solid secondary fuel. Tar, kerosene, petrol, diesel are the liquid secondary fuel. Gaseous, coal gas, oil gas and biogas are called as a gaseous fuel. When we are choosing fuel for the industrial application, following properties should be satisfied by the fuel. What is that? What is the characteristics of a fuel? It should be easily available. Means for manufacturing process should not be very difficult and availability will be very easy. It should be dry and should have a less moisture content, because if the moisture is increases, that is increases the smoke or the incomplete combustion will take place, produce the pollution. And if fuel is dry, it increases the calorific value. It should be cheap, easily transportable and should have a high calorific value. Ignition temperature should be a moderate. What is the calorific value and the ignition temperature? We will learn in the next PPT. The combustion speed of a fuel should be a moderate. It should not be fastly burn or very slowly burn. It should be a moderate and it can be monitored. Just like our gas supply, at home we can use a knob to decrease or increase the flame. It should not burn spontaneously to avoid fire hazards. The handling should be easy. It should not give poisonous gases after the combustions. Means after making the food, they should not produce the poisonous gases. The combustion of good food should not be fuel should not be explosive. So when we are choosing fuels for the industrial application, we are checking that it should satisfy with the following properties or not. As it is readily available, cost is low, easy to store and transport, high calorific value, it is not going to produce any pollution, low content of non-combustible matter. That quality should be satisfied by the good fuels. Next lecture, we are going to learn what is a calorific value, ignition, temperature. Thank you so much for your attention. If you have any doubt, you can mail me. Thank you, class.